Hey friends, boy am I excited to share this with you. This is the start of our 2022 growing season. I want to show you today how I am turning this grass yard into our new market style garden, and I can't wait to have it done, and I can't wait to share it with you. We've actually already started the 2022 growing season. I've got behind me in front of the house there. Okay, it's back there behind that pool by the front door. We've got a green stalk growing over there, and it is full of spring greens. Pretty excited about that. So we've got that started. We've got a bunch of starts going on. I'll give you a look at that later. But today I want to show you what I plan on doing. So the silage tarp has been on there since January 1st, and it's now April 1st. So it's been 3 months with the silage tarp, and it just didn't knock things down as much as I needed to. So I rented a tiller. I'm gonna my plan might change, but my plan is to do a low, light, shallow till to try to remove off the rest of this grass, and then maybe rake it off, and then do a little bit deeper till. I've got some lime that I'm going to be incorporating into the soil to try to raise the pH of my soil, and that's what I'm doing today. I got to get to work because this is a rental and I got to get it back there. So thanks for hanging out with me. Garden beds, and they had the landscape fabric was between the beds and on the outside of the beds, but you couldn't see that when we moved in. It was all grown over, and you didn't know. It was a surprise. So now I am rototilled this lightly and have found that, and I'm pulling it out, and once we get that all pulled out, hopefully I can convince somebody else to rake up all the clumps of grass for me, and then I will be doing a deeper till to really kind of get the soil fluffed and incorporated with the lime that I'm going to put in. It's really wet. The soil is still really wet, and I know that if it were drier, it would be I'd be having more success over here, but I'm running out of time. I need to get this done, and if I keep waiting because it's too wet, I might be waiting a long time because our springs can get pretty wet. Well, as much as anyone hates to fall on their butt, that was really amazing. Back to work though. All right, so you got to check this out. There is a second layer of landscape fabric that looks like was built or laid here when this house site was probably built, because it's like a whole different layer of soil. Folks, this has been an intense 2 days. So it is actually Saturday now. So everything else prior in this video was yesterday on Friday, and it is now the next day, and this is the first footage I've taken all day because we have been working a ton. So behind me, we are done tilling, and boy was it a lot of work. So let's see, where did we leave off last night? I think I had just done a light till last night. We had removed a lot of weed fabric from underneath the walkways between the old garden beds here, and we're surprised with a second layer of weed fabric. So what the top weed fabric had originally grass and weeds last summer, and then I put a bunch of straw from the barn on top of all that to just kill all the stuff by smothering it. And so there was all that on top of that first layer of weed fabric. We peeled that back and I was like, wow, this soil, is that those rocks? And it was actually bark nuggets, little tiny bark nuggets that had decomposed. And we kept kind of tilling things around and found another layer of weed fabric, which was really good quality weed fabric because it held up quite well compared to the one that was on top. But anyways, so then we had to remove all of that decomposed wood chip off of that and soil and pull those up. And of course, as we were doing that, we moved soil on top of the other ones that we didn't know about. So this morning, our farm helper came over, and he's just a local high school boy that comes and works for us. He came and helped me unearth the rest of those. I'll show you that pile right now. So that, let me get over here. This is the pile of weed fabric that came out of there. There's lots of lawn staples, all sorts of goodies in here. So we got all that removed. Oh man, that was a lot of work. Then what I did was, or we, I suppose, everybody who was helping, we raked as much grass roots and debris to the sides. So those are kind of lining the sides. And I think I'm actually gonna leave those there and put our weed fabric over it. I know I said I hate weed fabric, but I like to use it as a walkway you walk directly on, and then you know where it is. So instead of covering it up, I'll just leave it on top. So got that pushed to the side. Then there was a lot more volume of really nice soil in this area where those old garden beds were. And so we had to move a lot of that soil, especially as we were unearthing the weed fabric, to the other end, and did a bunch of tilling. Got it. Sorry, I'm just so exhausted. Got it. It still needs a lot more raking, but oh, I forgot to till that corner. Oh well, we'll survive. Anyways, so thanks so much for hanging out with us. We have more work coming up on these garden beds before we can do anything, but I'm gonna save that for another video. Otherwise, this video would never get out. So what we're doing next is we're going to continue raking this some more. Then we're gonna put the tarps back on it. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we wanna get that done before it rains. Not the raking, but at least putting the tarp back. And then gonna let the tarp sit for probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then we'll take it off. That way any weed seeds that were germinated or disturbed and might germinate can hopefully have time to do that and then get smothered by the tarp. We'll see if it happens in that amount of time. Ideally, I'd have a little bit longer, but my spring break is coming up and I want to get these garden beds put together. So after that, then I'm going to put out some brown paper and do wood chips for my walkways, and then some compost on top for my planting rows. I'm very excited, and I definitely need a break and some ice for my elbow. So thankful that I've had the help of my husband and our helper to be able to get this done. Otherwise, it wouldn't be done yet. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and joining us as we turn this part of our yard into a wonderful place full of food and beauty. I hope you have a great day. Bye.